back to Comic Beyond. So I'm kind of intercutting our Halloween theme comics, but at the same time, this kind of fits in because we are dealing with some symbiotes. So in this episode, we're covering Amazing Spider-Man 361, the first appearance of Carnage. So this is his first appearance, and honestly, all it is really is a bunch of fights. That's what this book is. You don't really get his backstory in this issue. It's just his first appearance. It's him going toe-to-toe with Spidey and Venom. Mainly Spidey. But it's penciled by Mark Bagley. So if you know 90s Spider-Man, or even, I think, a little bit of 80s Spider-Man, Bagley was all over stuff. So the visuals in this of Carnage look really, really good. His Spider-Man's on point. So, I seen Venom 2 last night, which motivated me to want to cover this, or at least talk about it, because I encourage you to go out and see this. But, Venom 2 was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. A lot better than the first. And one of my nitpicks about the first movie was the visuals. And there was a lot of nighttime fights, and there was a lot of symbiotes that look identical to each other because they didn't know how to color anything. So when Venom would punch the bad guy, they would mush together and you couldn't tell who was fighting who. But luckily, Carnage is a red symbiote, so they had a little bit more they could do in this one in terms of visual style and how to do the fights and stuff like that. So if you haven't seen Venom 2, I suggest checking that out, especially if you're a Venom fan. So check that movie out. And as far as this book goes, honestly, once you get to the tail end of it, to me that's the best part, because it's hands down just Spidey and Carnage just whipping each other's butts in a warehouse. And then it's really showing off what Carnage's abilities are different than Venom. So, to where Venom, he's just more like a brawler monster. Carnage can makeshift weapons out of his structure. So, almost like, to me, it's almost like T-1000 for Terminator 2. He can make stabbing objects. So, knives, axe type things, throwing darts, which is just parts of him that he's throwing. So, and then the other thing that's interesting about this book, and I think other people's talked about it before, but I noticed it in this book and some other stuff I've seen Carnage in. So, back in the day, you could only do so much in comics as far as gore and stuff like that. And if you know Carnage, you know Cletus Cassidy, he's a psychopath. He's basically DC's Joker in some ways, if not worse. But due to his design, he's red and he's always dripping like symbiote type strings all around him and tentacles. And so sometimes when he's, killing random people or whoever, it looks kind of gory, but at the same time, technically it's not gore, it's just his symbiote, so it looks like blood and gore, when really they're cutting corners with his design, so it can look like that, but it's actually just him. So when you see him slash somebody, it's his symbiote, but it also stands in for looking like blood and gore. So you see a little bit of that in this book. If you ever check out Maximum Carnage, that's where you kind of see more of that type of thing. But, yeah, it's a fun read. It's a quick read. This issue, it doesn't take long to read, and actually leads into, I think, one more or two more parts, and I think that might be when you actually get the origin, because that's when Venom really comes into play, and so him, Spidey, and Carnage are fighting. But I just wanted to do a quick cap for this comic, because just in case you're wanting to see the movie and you want to get basically a good recommendation of what kind of Carnage book you can read, definitely this one. I recommend Maximum Carnage. That was a very long, drawn out crossover, not really even a crossover event, but it was an event in the 90s. It just might have took way too long to do. There's a trade paperback out called Carnage Classics, and it's just his appearances collected in one trade paperback. So I would suggest checking that out. So if you want to check out some Carnage stuff, those are some good recommendations. And if you can get your hands on Amazing Spider-Man 361, check it out. I actually just have a True Believers reprint, something they put out when the event of Absolute Carnage was happening. So I just grabbed it. That's the most affordable, to be honest with you. That's also another trade paperback you can get, is the Absolute Carnage trade paperback. It's like an event they did like last year, trying to pair it with the movie, but unfortunately the movie got delayed. But that's this episode. Again, I have really nothing bad to say about Venom 2. It felt like a shorter movie, but I wish it was a little bit longer. That might have been my only complaint about it. Woody Harrelson's great as Cletus Cassidy / Carnage. Tom Hardy's always good. It still had humor in it. To me, the humor was a little bit better in the first one. But stay tuned throughout the credits if you haven't heard, because there's an awesome mid-credit scene. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So check it out. Check out some Venom / Carnage comics. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.